On this edition of Sports Paws, hockey season has ended, but that does not stop it from making headlines this week in Hamden. We'll give you the latest.
And men's lacrosse, Pat, hosted Quinnipiac Saturday afternoon. Both squads are in position to make the MAC playoffs, but who got the upper hand?
Baseball hosted its first series at home, facing off against MAC foe Iona, giving Q30 a chance to sit down with players and talk pregame rituals.
And the tennis teams have been on the rise. The men have faced undefeated teams, and one player made history. He'll join us live in studio. The women also had a championship rematch with Marist. All that and more right now on Sports Paws.
Hello and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Pat Pitts.
And I'm Maury Hirsch-Gordon. Pat, you've only anchored Sports Paws 3 times. I'm lucky enough to do it twice with you. The men's ice hockey team, let's get right down to business, has made a lot of national attention, Pat. Unfortunately, a 5-1 loss to North Dakota in the national championship game, but that doesn't mean they're out of the news quite yet. Earlier this week, 2 former Bobcat stars decided to leave Hamden to pursue their dreams. The first one, Sam Annis. The junior forward signed a 2-year entry-level NHL contract with the Minnesota Wild. Annis was tabbed All-American this season after 50 points, 24 goals, and 26 assists. Despite leaving early, Annis plans to graduate this spring.
Annis is not the only Bobcat heading to the show. Junior defenseman Devon Toews signed a 3-year entry-level deal with the New York Islanders Friday. The Islanders drafted Toews in the 4th round after his freshman campaign in 2013.
And Pat, with their departures, the Quinnipiac Bobcat faithful really was tense about that whole entire junior class, but that doesn't mean the whole entire junior class left. Both Connor and Tim Clifton, brothers, pledged their commitment to Rand Pecknold and his staff for their senior seasons. The Matawan, New Jersey natives had career years and expect to lead their respective units next season. For more on the men's ice hockey team now, we bring in men's ice hockey analyst MJ Baird. MJ, thanks for joining us live in the studio.
Guys, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So the Sam Annis departure, MJ, was pretty surprising, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say I wasn't expecting it. Sam Annis, too, kind of player that you don't want to miss if you're a Bobcat fan or even Rand Pecknold. 2 of the 3 first-line players on this team, Annis and Travis St. Dennis, who the Bobcats are losing to graduation, are leaving this team. But we're going to focus on Annis here. He's the type of player, as I said, you don't want to leave when you have a lot of other juniors leaving. We'll get to them later. But Annis, he's a great hockey player. He knows the game, very good hockey knowledge, high hockey IQ, and he really makes the right passes at the right time. You got, offensive zone, whether it's cycling the puck down low and getting open, which, by the way, he does a really good job at. You can measure how good a hockey player is based on how they move around without the puck versus with the puck, because we all know what he can do with the puck. And when you have a 50-point scorer like that, top 10 in the nation in points, top 7 in the nation in goals, and then Travis St. Dennis, as I was mentioning earlier, falls right in at number 11 in terms of points. Those 2 players leaving this squad are definitely going to be a big hit to the Quinnipiac offense. Bright spots, though, those freshmen, Scott Davidson, Craig Martin, Thomas Aldworth. This freshman class, a lot more, at least in my opinion, than Rand Pecknold would have expected. So expect players like him, or like those freshmen, to step up and fill the void.
MJ, Devon Toews played a huge role in the defense this season. With his departure, who do you see stepping up for this team? Yeah,
as you said right there, Pat, the Bobcats are losing their best defenseman in Devon Toews, and you just really got to address the point here. He's the pilot of the Quinnipiac power play, whether it be skating the puck out of the defensive zone, his skating skills, again, his hockey IQ, just as high as anybody else's on the team. In my opinion, best hockey knowledge on the team on both ends of the ice, and neutral zone included. He knows when to make the play, when not to, when to take a hit, dump and chase, what have you. He may not appear on the score sheet that much, but that doesn't take away from his skill. The breakouts, Quinnipiac, all year we talked about it. They did a good job getting pucks out of their zone. I talked to Devon a couple times throughout the season what it was like, and he said, it was all just based on communication. And it started with him as the pilot of this defense. Players to back it up, though, you got the freshmen, as I was saying before, Chase Prisky, Luke Shiplow, who didn't play all that much this season, but players like him, and then the recruiting class for freshmen, even if you get one player that steps up like Chase Prisky did this year, moving on into next season, I think the defensive core could be just fine.
A lot of great information there, MJ. One final question, though. Soren Janssen, Travis St. Dennis, gone.
Yeah.
The Tim Clifton, Connor Clifton return. Are they the clear-cut leaders heading into next season?
Oh, no doubt about it, Morey, at least in my opinion. These 2 players are what is keeping Quinnipiac as a potential contender in the ECAC. We'll start with Tim Clifton. Led the team in power play goals last season, along with Travis St. Dennis and Tim Clifton. All three of them, by the way, tied for second in the nation in power play goals. So do expect the power play to take a hit next season. But Tim really has a breakout season, 43 points this season. We talked to him a couple times throughout the year, too. He says, pucks are hitting me and going in. There must have been a little more to his game than that, considering the numbers he put up. Moving on to Connor Clifton, too. I expect him to fill the role perfectly that Devon Toews is leaving in this defensive core. Connor has a complete turnaround year as well, along with his brother. 14 points in his first 2 seasons. He doubles that for 28 this season alone. Significantly less penalty minutes, too. His freshman year, an outstanding 106 penalty minutes for Connor, down to just 42 this season. He's going to need to step into Devon Toews' shoes, develop into a similar player, take a big role on this power play, become the player that's going to skate the puck out into the neutral zone, make the plays. And really, Connor was on a tear at the end of the season. 11 points since March 1st for this Bobcats team. ECAC tournament most outstanding player. He had highlight reel plays in the offensive zone, whether it's a pass, a goal, big hits. These 2 players, as I said, keeping Quinnipiac relevant in the ECAC moving into next season.
MJ Baird, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
From one dominant team, Pat, to another dominant team, men's lacrosse had an enormous game this past weekend. It faced Canisius. Quinnipiac, the lone undefeated team in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference at 3-0. Canisius looking to shore up a playoff spot. 3-0 in the first quarter. The Golden Griffins, though, would make a little noise. Jeff Edwards, one of the top players in the country statistically. Beautiful goal there, makes it 3-1. Quinnipiac's lead just at 2. Nick Tuttle then rips one from the point past Jack Brust. If he's got any relation to Seth Tuttle, that's one athletic family there. Pat, 3-2 Quinnipiac, and then just over 3 minutes left, Ryan Keenan, the senior. Nice goal there from the left hand, 4-2 Quinnipiac after 1. We head now into the second quarter. Same exact type of play, same result, different player though. That's number 4. 1 of 7 goals on the day for the sophomore Brian Feldman. MAC Offensive Player of the Week. Quinnipiac up 7-4. Jack Brust though says no on the near post. Goalie's hyped up. Quinnipiac inching closer to a playoff spot. Brian Feldman once again. There's a second of the day. Quinnipiac up 11-4. Quinnipiac then on the break. Nate Nibelnick picks up the ball. Great passing by the Bobcats. Finds Feldman. Feldman, you know what he does. Goal number 4. Had it going on all day. And then to put the icing on the cake in the fourth quarter, Drew D'Antonio from Matt Frost. 15-7. Quinnipiac, they go on to win 17-9. Senior captain Ryan Keenan post-game.
It's a different mentality. I mean, you see teams come in and they bring a lot. They bring a lot of energy against us, and it's just the work throughout the week that keeps us on top. Sometimes guys might get complacent when we're at 4-0 in the MAC, but we just got to stay on them and keep us working, keep us getting better every day. That's how we've gotten here.
The MAC standings were released today, and Quinnipiac stands atop of the conference unbeaten at 4-0. Marist sits second with a 3-2 record. Monmouth and Detroit share a third spot at 2-2. Canisius stays at 6th at 2-3. Manhattan and Siena round out the bottom, tied at 1-3.
Things are heating up for the men's lacrosse team, Pat, and we have another analyst in studio, Reagan Martin. Reagan, you were there for the action this weekend. First time Quinnipiac's 4-0 in the MAC. What has been the key to success thus far?
It has to be the depth of the team. This is what's putting them, compelling them going against the other teams. They have depth. They have Will Vitale. He's 98 wins for 174 faceoffs. That's incredible. He's only a sophomore too. Then they have Brian Feldman. Everyone's talking about him. He has 27 goals in 10 games, and he had a high of 7 goals in 1 game. But then you also have people like Ryan Keenan, Connor Meth also putting in the goals, and this shows the depth of the team. In the last 2 games, they had 8 different players put up points on the board. That shows the depth of this team. And then to round it all off, they have their goalie, Jack Brust, 111 saves. 111 saves in lacrosse. That's incredible. And that it gives them a 55 save percent.
Reagan, this team has been unstoppable so far. How do you see them finishing the season?
I see them finishing it with, for me, 2 wins. They have Monmouth, which is away. Monmouth has 2-2 for the MAC, but the only losses are by 1 goal. So it's going to put up a little bit of a fight for them, but I can see them pulling through. And then they have Manhattan at home. This is their last game. This is an important game for them. Manhattan is one of the lowest teams in the MAC, however, but they beat Marist in overtime. And that is actually the team that gave Quinnipiac the most trouble. Quinnipiac ended up beating them, but in an overtime win.
Reagan, regardless of what the team does over the next 2 games, they're into the playoffs. And in college sports, once you're into the playoffs, anything can really happen. So now that they are in the playoffs, how do you see the playoffs panning out?
Like I said, they are one of the best teams in the MAC. I see them going far in the playoffs. I could see them winning the playoffs. However, they have to pull through in these. They have a strong chance. I think Marist is going to be the hardest team. Like I said, they only pulled out that win with an overtime win, and they had 5 unanswered goals in that game. They kind of lost their feel for that game, and Quinnipiac usually puts up goals every single game, but they didn't. They had 5 unanswered goals in the second and third quarters, and if they play like that, they might struggle. But besides that, if they keep up this pace and use the depth of their team, I see them winning.
You see them winning in the playoffs in the MAC. How far do you see them going beyond the MAC tournament?
If they win the MAC, they get to go to the NCAA tournament. I see them doing this. I can see them being a team that goes to that tournament. However, once they get to that tournament, these are teams like Syracuse and Johns Hopkins and Maryland. These teams have depth, unlike MAC teams. Quinnipiac is going far because they have the depth. They need to keep that depth if they want to face up against NCAA teams in that tournament.
Mid-major teams always have a shot to make the NCAA tournament, Pat. And like a couple years ago, Bryant upset Syracuse at Syracuse in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Reagan Martin, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
The acrobatics and tumbling team took home awards Saturday night at the NCATA National Championship. Mary Ann Powers received Coach of the Year for the first time in her career, and Allie Tallman took home All-American honors. The team traveled to Waco, Texas for the NCATA National Championship Saturday. The team won the national championships in the acro 6 element and synchronized toss heat event.
Pat, when we return on Sports Paws, our own Hannah Cotter sat down with some of the baseball stars to find out their pregame rituals.
And later, your favorite part of the show, we have the top 5 plays from this past week. Don't go anywhere. Sports Paws will be right back.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news. This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The baseball team split a pair of midweek road non-conference games. Tuesday they lost at Northeastern 12-9, and Wednesday defeated Hartford 7-5. Pat, you were on the call for a lot of baseball this weekend, over 20 innings on Saturday. What'd you see?
I saw a lot of great pitching and a lot of great fielding. You know, the Bobcats really played well. You know, we have some highlights, Morey. Let's roll them.
Let's roll them.
In Game 1, Quinnipiac hosted Iona in Hamden. Tommy Jenkins, what a day for him. He had a gem of a day. 8 innings pitched, 8 Ks, 1 walk, a no-hit bid to the 8th inning, We're going to show you to the 3rd right now. Brian Mosky is going to hit a double into left field. That's going to send freshman Aaron Free to 3rd. Mosky going to slide in safely here. And then the next at-bat, Matthew Batten's going to drill one into left as well. He's going to bring home Aaron Freed. Bobcats go up 1-0. As I said before, Jenkins had a no-hit bid to the 8th. We'll take you here, and this is where it breaks up. Lou Matarazzo breaks up the no-hitter. Iona would get one more hit after that, but that would be all for Jenkins on the day. And then that half inning, Rob Pescatelli is going to hit a moonshot into the outfield, but a sac fly that'll bring home Brian Moskey. Quinnipiac would go up 2-0, and that's how it would stay. Bobcats win 2-0.
Rolling right into Game 2. Game 1, Pat, was only an hour and 45 minutes, 9 innings. Game 2 is set for 7 innings, 3.5 hours. Taylor Luciani on the mound, number 18, a sophomore young star. He had it going early, but here it was Iona's Matt Byrne drives the ball to deep left field. Byrne will pick up a double on that. Score was tied 2-2 in the top of the 5th when Burns hit that. And then Sean Breen up next, ropes a ball to right field. Rob Pescatelli, ball bounces out. Brian Moskey has to pick it up. Pescatelli slow to get up. The center fielder gets it in, but not before the Gales push a run across the board. 3-2 Gales will head right into the bottom of the 6th. Iona on the mound. Matt Ostreicher, the designated hitter, nails one just past the diving shortstop for the Gales. Pat, Iona had the infield drawn in. If they were back a little bit, maybe halfway, he gets to that. But nonetheless, Quinnipiac ties it up 3-3. Then Iona in the field, bottom of the 12th. Matt Batten hits a sharp ball to the third baseman, but Aaron Freed, the second baseman, the freshman, makes a mistake. You don't want to make the first or third out at third base, and he does there. We'll head to the bottom of the 13th, and finally, John Bodenhammer, the senior, what a moment, puts the ball in play. Quinnipiac scores. They win 4-3 in 13 innings, 3.5 hours. They're going crazy on the Saturday sweep. John Bodenhammer after the game.
It just feels good when you win like that. It just it reinforces what you're doing and saying you're doing a good job, and so it allows you to continue what you're doing and into the following series. It feels great to contribute and to contribute to the win and to just come back and just feels great.
21 innings wasn't enough, Morey, as Quinnipiac wanted to play 9 more on Sunday. We'll take you to the 8th inning now. Quinnipiac and Iona tied up at 2 as Iona's Nico Swatella is going to ground to short to Batten. He throws it. Close call there. I'm called him out. Iona thought he was safe to take another look here. Close call. He was out by a few steps. Iona's coach not happy with the call. We'll take you to the bottom half of the 9th. Aaron Freed gets it started, hitting a nice roper in to left. He's going to stay on. That's going to bring up a Brian Moskey sack bunt. Beautiful bunt. He has nowhere to go, but his job is done. Moving the runner to second. After a Matthew Batten intentional walk, that's going to bring Pescatelli's blooper into right. Aaron Freed tries to round third to go home, but he is stopped too late. And then the catcher, Lou Ionati, sends the Bobcats home with a walk-off. Aaron Freed crossed the plate. Bobcats win 3-2. John Delaney, presser.
Lou, you've been around the block for quite some time. 2 of your classmates.
We struggled a little bit starting off the conference weekends, so it's just big to get a sweep here. I mean, every weekend counts, every game counts. It doesn't seem like it now because it's only like the 3rd conference series, but I mean, every win that we get ends up adding up at the beginning of the at the end of the year. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we're like, oh, if we just won that one game, you know, we might have been a different seed. So it means a lot. Everyone worked extremely hard. Pitchers, position players, 1 through 9 in the lineup. So, I mean, we won it as 32 guys and not 1 or 2 guys.
With the sweep, Pat, Quinnipiac jumps from 10th to 7th place, just 1 spot behind Niagara for the 6th and final playoff spot. 29 out of the first 30 games, Pat, for the baseball team were away from home. Finally, they were home, and the Q30 sports crew got a chance to sit down with them. Our own Hannah Cotter inside the dugout.
All right, so your team had a great win yesterday, improving your record 10-20 after beating Hartford. But I'm actually not here to talk about baseball. I want to talk about more what you do before the game, so what type of pregame rituals you have, or just what you like to do before the game. So do you have any pregame rituals?
Yeah, I would say nothing way before the game. I'm not very superstitious that way, but I like to do the same thing before an at-bat, before I start in the field. So I more like keep routine in the field before every game. I catch the ball in the grass, throw it into the third baseman, and step on the dirt, right foot, left foot, say a prayer, draw a cross, and then I'm good to go.
Usually before the game, I like to get to the field like an hour early for whenever we have to be outside. Usually just hang out, listen to music in the locker room, and I like to review a lot of the stuff that I've done in previous games that I have like written down, just to get ready for the next game. So.
Okay, well, it starts when I wake up in the morning. I usually eat a PB&J with drink a glass of milk. Then head into the ballpark. I wear sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Same thing every game before game. And then once I get to the ballpark, it's usually just I'm in a relaxed mode.
And before the game starts, I know a lot of players like to listen to music before a big game. Do you have any tunes you like to listen to?
I listen to a lot of Kid Ink, everything, Sunset, Hell and Back. I know those are pretty mainstream throwbacks, but it just gets me going.
Right now I'm listening to Panda by Designer. That's a big thing in the locker room.
Whoever has their phone connected to our speaker system, so it could be anything. Rob likes to play Panda, Katy Perry, among other weird things.
So walk me through a typical day in your shoes.
Typical day, we wake up, we have lift, then I have to go to class, early work hitting with one of the coaches.
Well, usually it's a lot of class and a lot of practice lifts. Usually Tuesdays or Thursdays are my worst days.
So what's the vibe like in the locker room before the game?
The vibe's mixed. It depends who you are. Some guys take it more seriously than others. Like I said, more relaxed, but some guys are in the zone.
As a captain, I like to say make sure we execute our style of baseball, which is small ball. So I want to make sure everyone's locked in, focused, fired up. So every pitch, they know that one pitch could change the game. So we have to be locked in, ready to go, pitch in and pitch out. So that's my main focus when I talk to the guys.
So if you have a bad game, who's the first person you call?
I really don't call anybody that often, especially on the bus. If you lose a game, you don't want to be that one kid talking pretty loud on the bus. Rob likes to do that, but that's another story.
First person I call is my father. He's been there since T-ball, so no matter if it's a good game, bad game, I always talk to him and just reflect on at-bats and just things to improve on for the next game.
And obviously baseball's a huge part of your life here at Quinnipiac, but if you weren't playing baseball, what do you think you'd be doing?
If I wasn't playing baseball,
Oh, God. That wouldn't be good. But without baseball, I'd be lost. I don't know what I would do. It keeps me in order. It keeps me out of trouble.
Probably just be hanging out, just doing normal things, hanging out with friends and stuff. A lot of free time if there was no baseball, so I honestly don't know what I would do.
I don't know. I like playing a lot of sports. Hockey, ice hockey is my second passion. With the Masters that just happened, hopefully playing golf somewhere. Professional golf would be nice, but that's it.
The softball team has opened eyes around the Northeast region, and it's well on its way to a 20-plus win season for the first time in 5 years. Wednesday, it swept crosstown rival Yale and lost on Thursday to Sacred Heart. Back in MAC play, though, QU swept Siena Saturday and then got swept on Sunday by Marist. The team sits one game behind Canisius for the sixth and final playoff spot. Fairfield and Iona visit Hampton this weekend for conference doubleheaders Saturday and Sunday, respectively.
Women's lacrosse lost to MAC rival Iona 10-6. 7 different players scored for the Gales, 6 of the players with 1 goal on the day. The squad hoped for a different result against Marist, but came up unlucky. The Bobcats fell to the Red Foxes 13-2. This loss puts the Bobcats' losing streak at 9 games. They will face Fairfield Wednesday on the road. When we come back, we have a special guest live in the piazza. He just made history, and he's ready to talk to us.
And Pat, we present everybody the Sports Paws Bobcat of the Week. Stick with us.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws. In the end, we're here to win a championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The women's tennis team defeated Monmouth 7-0 Wednesday. Senior Sophia Deslinski picked up her 100th win as a Bobcat. Sydney Young made a step closer to number 100, picking up her 93rd career win. After shutting out Monmouth, the Bobcats stayed unbeaten in MAC play, defeating Marist 6-1. Junior Rachel Horton earned her 23rd doubles win, tying Stephanie Petrecki. The Bobcats finished the season on the road this week, traveling to Fairfield and Siena. The men's tennis team defeated previously unbeaten MAC foe Monmouth Thursday afternoon 4-3. Junior Kei Ezaka notched his 100th career win in the process. Saturday, another undefeated foe entered. Marist handed Quinnipiac its first loss of the conference 4-3. The Bobcats currently sit in second place in the MAC with a record of 4-1.
And Pat, just days after his 100th win, Kei Ezaka out in the piazza with John Franklin to talk about the history and about how his team's doing. John?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Kei Ezaka. Kei, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, congratulations on your 100th win.
Thank you.
Well, Kei, you came into QU as a 4-star recruit. You traveled all the way across the Pacific Ocean from Japan. You play in California, you're there for 5 years, then you come to QU. Did you feel any high expectations coming your way when you first got here?
First semester for my freshman year, I thought it was going to be easy because I was a little cocky player, but as I came into spring semester, I figured out that it's not about myself, it's about the team. It's a different environment, and yeah, it was tough to be here at first, but I'm enjoying it right now.
Now, transitioning from that freshman year, that feeling of cockiness, did you ever think you'd be sitting here saying you've gotten 100 wins in your career?
I would say yes and no, because the number 1 spot playing there, it's a tough match. Every match it's tough. I can't guarantee a win every time for the team, but I had a vision myself that I can win. So yes and no, I guess.
So with all that winning and all that success that you've had both from Japan to California and now in QU, have you had a big influence in your life that you think has pushed you in your tennis career?
Probably, because tennis is kind of my life here too, so yeah.
Who has pushed you the most, you think, as a tennis player?
What do you mean, like?
As far as a coach or a teammate or anything like that?
Definitely all my teammates, especially 2 seniors that graduated last year, our captains, they taught me about teamwork, so.
Okay, the team is now 12-7 overall, 4-1 in MAC play, 2 matches left. What are your expectations heading into the MAC tournament?
Of course, we want to win both matches, and I think we have a chance to win the tournament, so I hope the team's healthy and we'll win it.
All right, Kei, thank you so much. Now let's send it back to Pat and Morey at the desk.
Thanks, John and Kei, for coming on. This week's Bobcat of the Week is Thomas Jenkins of the baseball team. He pitched an absolute gem on Saturday, 8 innings, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He had a no-hitter until the 8th inning, which was broken up by a base hit by Lou Mazarazzo. He pitched an absolute gem, and he only allowed 1 base runner to reach second base.
Pat, it's top 5 plays of the week time. As Dylan Fearon would say, I've got the odds, you've got the evens. At 5, men's lacrosse, Canisius, you've seen this one before. Brian Feldman will put it in, but it was Nate Niblick that tracked down the ball to have the Bobcats get on the break. Bobcats won 17-9.
We're going to stay with men's lacrosse here as Jack Bruss makes an unbelievable save to keep them in the game. Quinnipiac will win 17-9.
The senior, big hit, gold, going home winning. 3-2 Lou Ionati, walk-off hit. Bobcats sweep Iona.
Staying with baseball and on the theme of walk-offs, John Bodenhammer's 13th inning heroic hit to right field to solidify a win and a sweep in the doubleheader for the Bobcats. They would win 4-3.
And the top player of the week, Matt Batten, known as Matty Bats. Despite being a 5'8", backhand in the hole. What a throw, Pat. That was a season-saving throw. Quinnipiac, if it loses that game, goes to 3-6. 3 games behind Niagara for the last playoff spot, but it wins and goes to 4-5. For more information about all Quinnipiac athletics, men's lacrosse, it might have an opportunity to play at home in Hamden for the MAC playoffs, men's baseball, tennis, all the spring sports. Check out our website at q30television.com and also on social media at Q30 Sports.
For all the dedicated members here at Q30, our lovely production staff, he's Morey Hirsch-Gordon, I'm Pat Pitts. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow, Bobcat Nation.